Hello, my name's Will, and what I do within Quell is I concentrate a lot on helping organisations, shall we say, promote staff safety from any forms of abuse, threats and assaults. That's through various modes of training and consultancy. Now, what I do also is I get asked by a lot of organisations to come in and have a look at risks and have a discussion on if they preempted a risk or if we've, shall we say, need to identify some form of risk, that what we can put in place, like measures of procedures. And that's what I want to talk about. What I've been getting a lot lately is a lot of my organisations and clients that I've worked with have been coming to me and saying, well, look, Will, in reference to our lone working, can we add hybrid working? And yeah, I see the point now, because a lot of the organisations that I work with are having their staff, shall we say, work home for X amount of days during the week and possibly coming into the office for a few days, probably to catch up on administration. And it's also then basically, shall we say, ensuring that they can reduce the spread of the COVID and also try and keep the organisation going in some form of manner. Now, where I've come in is I've been concentrating more on the lone working side, because we have a lot of staff that are working at home, obviously, for a certain amount of days during the week, and they're doing, shall we say, alternative hours, because probably family life has been affecting them, whether it's, shall we say, dealing with relatives, dealing with themselves, personal issues, or, shall we say, dealing with their children. So there is a bit of a change in, shall we say, timings of works. I talk a lot to staff that start very early in the morning, then take a break when they're, shall we say, taking children to school, or they're doing something else, and then getting back into work, and possibly, shall we say, sharing it with loved ones, and then also then possibly working late. And I do ask this a lot to a lot of the staff, is do some of them feel that they're working more hours than what they used to do when perhaps they were working on, shall we say, a static system of probably 8 till 4 or 9 till 5. And a lot of them are agreeing with me, going, they are putting a lot more hours in. But what also is coming in, just slipping in just a little bit, is a bit of, shall we say, complacency. As I say to a lot of them, just because you're working from home does not mean that you should not book in and book out at the beginning of the morning, at the end of the day. You should be then looking at the environment that you're in and saying, well, am I working in a safe environment? It's okay saying you're working from home, but is it a safe environment? Have you put things in place to make sure that if you do accidentally have an accident or something happens, you can, shall we get assistance? Are you regularly in contact with your colleagues throughout the day instead of just logging in the morning and then not talking to anyone at the end of the day? Have you thought to yourself, the what if? Do even loved ones check in on you? Because again, we forget, just because we're at home, we have this subconscious feeling that, yeah, we're okay, we'll be safe, there's no problem. But I do ask of a lot of them to consider, well, the what if? Even something as basic as walking up and down stairs, someone can accidentally fall, but would somebody know that they've actually had an accident? So there's all these measures that we try to put in place to them. Then also I talk a lot to the staff that actually have to go from their home to a meeting or a visit. Right. Have they thought? Have they thought to check in and check out? Have they kept the diary or calendar up to date? Have they put the system in place, what they possibly used at work, at home, but kept it, shall we say, rigorous? And what I mean is, do they regularly keep in touch with it? I have recently checked a few minor incidents where staff have accidentally forgot to tell somebody that they were at a specific meeting or they were carrying out a specific visit. Or the one I've just done recently, which was a genuine mistake, where a staff member had left home. They told the office that they were going to this specific meeting visit. They went there. The person that we're going to speak to wasn't there, but they seen another visit that they could have carried out there and then. They went there. An incident occurred, and then unfortunately everybody from the organisation thought they were at this address when she rang in. So it does actually happen by accident, and that's what I try to say to people. Now, some organisations are going to look at more devices and more equipment, and I say, well, let's look at it on the value of risk. So if you're, shall we say, an organisation and you have staff that are carrying out hybrid working, have a think to yourself, have you put enough information in your procedures to, shall we say, give the staff that work from home that information to remain safe? Have you carried out them risk assessments? Right. Secondly, if you're an organisation and you have staff that actually work, shall we say, from home but carry out visits or meetings that, shall we say, leave their home to go to them specific meetings and then back, have you made sure that you've put in a good booking in, booking out system that does keep you as an organisation up to date on the movements of the staff? And if you are that staff member and you are that person who's working at home, Have you actually structured it properly enough? Have you thought to yourself, you're keeping in touch with people throughout the day? You're thinking to yourself, well, if I go to a meeting, right, have I put it in my calendar? Have I put it exactly in my calendar? I know some people think I'm a bit, shall I say, preaching, but I'm not, because my job, as I said before, during the day is sometimes I get asked to look at incidents, and sometimes it's the most basics. And as I always say to people when I'm talking to them, hindsight is a brilliant thing. It's easy for me to spot things, but that's why I put measures in place. And then say to yourself, have you thought what you could do or who you would call in the event of emergency? Hybrid working is most definitely something that will be here for quite a while, but it's something that we need to address now. Instead of saying to each other, well, we'll just leave the systems in place because you never know, in, shall we say, 12 or 18 months from now, we will be back some form of normality. If you need any more information on how we at Quell actually help organisations look at hybrid, and we look at their training and we look at their risk assessments and things like that, please get in touch. Or alternatively, also look at our social media sites. We should be coming up here. Look at our LinkedIn page, and I always seem to keep putting information up all the time because I like to help people, and the main aim of our company is to keep staff safe. Thank you for watching. Stay safe whatever you're doing, and bye for now.